Hey everybody, Zach here with WMA Sportsman. The season is coming up super duper fast and I am not prepared. I still got quite a bit of things I need to take care of before hunt season gets here officially. I've been wanting to come out here on this South Florida hunt to do some scouting, and I finally made it out here. This is my first trip out here looking around. So far I just have been driving the roads for the past 2 hours. I have seen quite a bit of deer doing that, but right now I'm getting off from the road and I'm gonna scout around. I want to come up with a game plan because some of these South Florida WMAs, you have a higher success rate stock hunting, and at least I've been very successful doing that because just the terrain types, open cattle fields, you're able to glass and see them far away. These bucks are running, they're chasing, and stalking is a very good option. It looks like that might be an option of attack for here. However, I found this pocket of woods that has set up trees, that has pines and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead, walk back in here. I'm gonna look for deer sign, look for deer, try to put my eyes on a good buck. That'd be awesome. There goes a raccoon. And if all else fails, I'm gonna be looking around for setup trees if I decide to tree stand hunt this parcel. It's just a entry trip to familiarize myself with everything and get the frickin' wheels turning into deer season again. Yeah, there's a scattered terrain out here. You got open cattle type fields that are groomed and you could see for a very long distance. And then there's pockets of these oaks that look like there's some pines built in, and then you got these little sloughs, these heads in the middle of these ponds. I'm not out here looking for hogs, so I don't want to get too distracted. I'm about to keep on walking. It's pretty rare to see hogs over in this area. They're hanging out in these little tree areas you can see. Here, I'll go over there. You can see the hog room that they're hanging out in. My wind's pushing right at this thing. He's so distracted, just rooting around. So if you're looking for a good hog spot, you don't know what to look for, this is it. Get in this swampy condition right where the mud gets a little soupy. You find these hog wallers. You see where they've been rubbing up against these trees. And then you keep looking around the area and you'll find one of these close by. Alright, that's all we get of that. I'm killing my camera battery and my time. Let's go find a big buck. I'm going to set up a game camera right around where I kicked them up, probably on this game trail that's on the edge of this hardwoods. And then we'll get a better look at them. It's going to be a very hard area to hunt with archery equipment. There's not really any good setups. If it were a rifle hunt, I think it'd be quite a bit easier, because you'd be able to reach out and touch them, and you'd be able to hunt a lot of these edges. But we'll see what we decide on. I'm looking around right now for setup trees, and there's not many. Really not many. So let's just put out the camera equipment, and we'll figure out the setup later. I think I'm going to set it on this edge right here. This is about where he was when I kicked him up. I kicked him up and he ran to that bunch up here, and he hid behind those trees, and then I was trying to get a better look, and he finally just jetted out of there. What I'm doing now is I'm looping around this area and just looking at it a little more in depth to see what kind of setup spots I passed. There's a few edges. Man, it's direct sunlight around here. So I'm just circling around this stuff, working my way back towards the truck. Not many pine trees or palms around here. There's a few, but they're not really huntable. As you could see, this kind of a landscape can cause a dilemma when you're out archery hunting. I think the plan of attack is going to be stocking up on these things. I have not found any rubs or any scrapes so far today. I believe that big buck was hard-horned, and the other two small bucks I seen were still in velvet. So that might have something to do with a lack of buck sign. But I'm out here looking for it. This is the whole excuse. Come out here is just familiarize myself with the property, figure out what it looks like, how thick it is, if it's huntable by tree stand or what other means, and try to find buck sign. So far what I've accomplished is that you could hunt it with tree stand, but it would be pretty damn hot and you'd be limited to one or two game trails. I haven't found that many good pinch points that I feel like would be a spectacular archery spot. I feel like you'd have more of an advantage being on the ground and being able to move to them. So with that being said, I don't necessarily need to find the best spot if I'm going to be on the ground and mobile. I'm concluding this scouting trip. Been out here sweating my dingleberries off all day. And I found a big buck. Not sure if it's going to amount to nothing, because there's a lot of woods for him to run around in and not many secluded areas for me to tuck in at. But it is a lead, and if you are a salesman, some point in time, you know a lead leads to a sale. And that's what I need to do, is I need to sell him on that tip of that arrow and put him in my freezer. These South Florida WMAs, a lot of time you have really good luck just driving around in the truck and having somebody, your guest or whoever, in the back of the truck spotting for these animals. And you do that because a lot of times there's thick shrubbery along these fence lines or the road. There's thick shrubbery and you can't see over it. But if you have someone in the tailgate sitting on the cooler, whatever, and you're driving at a slow speed, they have a lot better vantage point. So what we do a lot of times is we drive around, and if you see something, you hit on the roof to stop. And then you go ahead, you spot, you look, and you'll see a bunch of deer out there if you do it long enough. And once you see a legal buck, you go ahead and try to put a stalk on them. There's a good chance that that's what we're gonna do out here. I probably will do that style the first day, and depending on that, we might go ahead and switch up a little bit and just do the same thing while walking through the woods. That's a little tougher because it's hot out here. It takes a lot more energy out of you walking through these woods versus sitting in the tailgate getting hit with the breeze. So that's honestly how I think we're gonna hunt this place, is we're gonna try to stock up on stuff. I hope to see you guys here soon. If you see me out and about this hunting season, go ahead and give me a holler, and good luck to everybody. South Zone opener is less than 2 weeks out. Jeez, I'm not ready. Are you guys ready? It freaking happens so fast. All right, guys, see you on the next one. Thanks for coming with me on this little scouting trip.